So at some point, I met my wife, and like I said, she's nothing like me. And in our relationship along the way, I fell in love with her, and she fell in love with me. And we bought a house together, and we had plans to get married sometime in the future, but there was nothing serious. But along the way, I got really sick and didn't know what was going on, and I found out that I had stage 4 cancer. I had stage 4B cancer that had metastasized and had spread to my body. And I had to get really aggressive with the treatments and stuff like that. And I remember, I've got significant resources. So I went everywhere, all over the world, to try to find a cure. And everybody kept sending me back to West Palm Beach because this is where all the old rich people are, right? And so that's where all the good doctors are. They come where the money is. And I try to keep these old rich people alive as long as I can so they can keep bilking them for money. Anyway, so I came home from, came home from the doctor that day, and I had finally became, I don't know want to say at peace, but accepted my fate. And my fate was, I had 3 months left to live. They told me that I was terminally ill, stage 4B, metastasized. I was done.
What year was this?
2015.
Okay.
That sounds about right. 10 years ago. Maybe 14, maybe 2014.
Okay.
So I came home and I've managed to amass some significant materialistic things. And so I came to her, and she's like, "What's going on, honey? You're awfully glum." And I was like, "Well, doctors tell me I got 3 months left to live." And she said, "Huh, okay." And I said, "Well, here's what I'm thinking." She said, "What?" And I said, "I got all this stuff, right? I got a lot of stuff in the world. My kids have passed. I have nobody to leave it to. I'm selling her, right?" I said, "You love me. I love you. We get married." And this amazing woman that, I love and respect. And a little side note here, my wife had been married before, and her husband was a drug addict, extremely abusive. He had literally taken her and her 3 children in the middle of Nebraska, in the middle of the freezing weather, high on crystal meth, and held her at gunpoint for like 7 hours and told her that if she got out of the truck, she was going to shoot her kids, who were his kids. It's the kind of situation she came up in. So this amazing woman that raised these 3 kids on her own by having a daycare in her house, put herself through college, climbed the corporate ladder, is now making 6 figures, doing an amazing job for herself, who doesn't need me, who's my best friend. In that moment when I told her that, I had 3 months left to live, and I looked at her and said, "Will you marry me?" Without missing a beat, she looked back at me and said, "I can do anything for 3 months."